What's going on, everyone? So reports came out the other day about Giannis Antetokounmpo still may end up looking to request a trade. That the Milwaukee Bucks aren't out of the woods yet. That they very likely could expect Giannis to request a trade. Here's my thing about this whole situation. I think Giannis is just drawing out and postponing the inevitable. Rip the Band-Aid off. Right? Milwaukee doesn't want to be the team that presents it because they don't want to be the team. They don't want to be the team that essentially forced Giannis out or something like that. They don't want to seem like they're the bad guys, right? And if you're Milwaukee, you don't want to do that. Right? If Giannis wants to stay and retire a Buck, let him stay and retire a Buck. Right? But from Giannis's perspective, Milwaukee fans wouldn't even blame him at this point if he left. Nobody would. Milwaukee is in purgatory. I've talked about this. I talked about this last time. They're not going to be able to fix and change what you need them to fix and change in order for you to be a perennial contender. It's not. They're locked up and they're even in an even worse spot now because they're already using all the resources. And this is why Giannis is hurting the Milwaukee Bucks at this point. Because Milwaukee now stretched and waived Damian Lillard for 5 years to bring in and upgrade in Brook Lopez. Right? They moved off of Brook Lopez to bring in Miles Turner, which is a great pickup for them. But here's the problem. It doesn't make you better. You lost Brook Lopez and got an upgrade. Sure, that's great. So you're better in that regard. But you also lost Damian Lillard. And now you handcuffed yourselves even further financially the next few years. Where he probably was not going to opt back in. He was probably going to opt out and sign out elsewhere. So you probably only would have had him for one more year. So Giannis at this point is destroying any chance in the foreseeable future of the Milwaukee Bucks being able to dig themselves out of a hole. They just keep digging deeper and deeper, trying to appease Giannis Antetokounmpo. And all he's doing is causing them to have to figure out new ways and get creative and how to screw them even more because they don't want to lose Giannis Antetokounmpo. But they're not going to be able to fix what needs to be fixed unless Gary Trent just becomes a star, which, I mean, he was looking at in the playoffs, but realistically, is Miles Turner, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Gary Trent Jr., is that enough for you to go win an NBA championship? Probably not. Now, they have talent. They're deep. You got Kuzma and Portis, and they got a nice squad. Don't get me wrong. Right? Like, if Giannis wants to stay and stick around, fine. Stick around and stay. Like, he has a solid squad. They look good. They're nice. Right? Like, they got some depth. Right? Like, I think that they could be a playoff team. Right? I think Giannis is good enough to where he could probably take them to, the second round. Maybe they have like an Indiana run and get to the conference finals or something. But the realistically, them winning and actually winning an NBA championship. They're so reliant on Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the only star that they have there now. And he's going to have to do so much more. He's already having the injury concerns and issues, right, that are probably only going to be worse because he's going to be so relied on. Now they're talking about him being their point guard and running their offense through him and running a point Giannis and all this stuff. So now you're going to put even more pressure on him. Now you're going to have him be even more usage and have to do more and make plays and keep guys involved and do all this other stuff. It's just like, for what? Trade him. If I'm Giannis, I don't know why I would why do you want this? Like, again, he has to have people that understand, like, even if he doesn't get the situation he's looking at, fix it, right? Like, he's got to have his agent or whatever. Like, dude, they're not going to be able to fix this. Right? Like, this is basically what you got. Maybe they stumble into a piece here and there, but it's going to be you and a bunch of role guys for the next, until you retire, till you hang it up. Right, so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? How do you want to approach this? I just think, and then you're just going to keep getting this drawn out, he wants to leave. Now, maybe he's waiting for something, right? Lakers are positioning themselves for a Giannis or a Jokic now that they got Luka Doncic. Maybe Giannis knows, hey, not this year because he wouldn't be able to force his way this year, but maybe next year he forces his way. Or maybe he forces his way to another team. Right? It doesn't have to be Lakers. Maybe it's the Knicks or something like that. Or Brooklyn, right? There's things to Brooklyn. Or the Clippers are supposed to have a bunch of cap space next year, right? So there's a lot of teams in the mix that would obviously throw their hat in the ring for Giannis, but Giannis next season would be in a contract year. So he could kind of push and steer better now. Let's say he wants to go to the Lakers. Just use the Lakers as an example. Because the Lakers don't really have the assets to go and trade for him. They don't. Right? Like Austin Reeves, a first, Rui Hachimura, and salary filler is not going to be enough to get Giannis, right? Compared to like Houston and the Spurs and stuff like that. Right? Well, right now, he could come out and be like, I only want to go to Lakers. I don't care. I know that they don't have much. I only want to go to Lakers and I want to play with Luka. But there are teams like Houston, Spurs, some of these other teams. You don't think that they'd look at it and go like, okay, well, we could have him for 2 years. Let's trade him. We might win a championship in 2 years and it's worth it. Right? Look at what Cleveland did with Donovan Mitchell. Right? He was going to the Knicks. Everyone knew. Like, hey, as soon as you made a foolish trade because as soon as he can, he's headed to the Knicks. And they were like, we'll see. They were able to build the team and he stuck around. He's still on the team. Right? So you don't think that there's teams that might do the same thing with a team like, like, oh, hey, I want to go to the Lakers. Well, too bad. Houston, they pony up and they're like, well, if we win a championship with him and Kevin Durant, is he really going to leave us? And we have a bunch of young talent, but we'll take our chances. And now he's in a new place for years. He's settled in. He's probably gotten a house, probably not living out of his suitcase anymore, right? So now it's like, he's starting to get comfortable. He's starting to get acclimated. He's going to places, people are, right? It's like what happened with Donovan Mitchell, right? He's like, wow, people love me here. Like, this is awesome, right? Like, you start getting comfortable, right? And you don't want to like, oh, now I got to uproot and sell my house and do all this other stuff all over again, right? So, but next season, right now he has more power. Now he has more say. Now, obviously, a team could do the Kawhi Leonard situation and go like, "Hey, we'll trade for Giannis and and rent him for a year." But you'd also have teams that would the Clippers would have more cap space, have assets. Like Lakers would have 3 firsts now at that point, right? So he'd have more options and he'd have more persuading power and ability to kind of move guys or move to where he wants to go and help kind of steer his destination. But I almost feel sorry for the Bucks at this point, right? Because it's just like they're trying to do everything in their power to get this figured out, but they're not going to. There's too restricted. There's too many. They don't have any assets, and not just that, but now they can't even bottom out, right? Like that's the problem. Like the idea is like, hey, just trade Giannis to the Houston Rockets and get a bunch of draft picks and young players. But that may not even be the best course of action for them at this point because, again, they can't bottom out. They don't have any of their picks. So it's not like, hey, let's just bottom out and then, we can now go and do X, Y, and Z. It's like, no, they're cleaned out, right? So it's like they're almost better off trading them. You almost want a team like the Knicks or somebody to do that to where you can get some established players. Right? Like, and maybe be a playoff team and then hope that, maybe get a young guy somewhere down the road and hope they turn into a star or something. It's a tough spot for the Bucks to be in. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.